Welcome back to the channel. My name is Melanie and I'm super jazzed to be here as always. This week's Self-Love September prompts are to encourage you to artistically express some of the experiences or emotions from your childhood. It's up to you. This can be lighthearted and fun, or these easy prompts can highlight and unpack some deeper realizations for you. Some of these prompts are designed to unearth some heavier emotions or begin you on a path of contemplation around specific experiences from your childhood, but they can also be used to allow your bright, joyful, and creative inner child an opportunity to play. Take the reins and express without any criticism or judgment. The intention is to have as little criticism and judgment of yourself as you can. This isn't about creating profound poetry or aesthetically good art. It's just about moving and working with and expressing our emotions, our memories, our feelings, our wounds, and whatever else comes up for us. If you are finding yourself being a little judgmental and critical, that's okay too. Try not to double down on the judgment and criticism of your judgment and criticism. As always, take what works for you. Create a little ritual out of this if you want. I'm so excited to be doing some artistic journal prompts. It's really fun to utilize the many different ways as humans we process things. Some people work really good with words and writing and poetry and language. Others are more visual. They have images that come to mind, color associations, and things of the sort. So it's fun to have both written journals or art journals or collage journals. Allow that little creative creature that's inside of you some free rein to play and get some of those emotions, feelings, thoughts, and ideas flowing. Let the juice juice, let the flow flow. My first prompt for you would be to draw with a pen or a pencil, nothing too fancy. You can have a regular piece of paper, but draw a doll or a Lego house and decorate the rooms for each different age period that you can remember. You don't have to do them all, you can pick 3 or 4, but I would suggest doing something from your early childhood, your mid-childhood, and maybe your teen years, and look at the comparisons in how you've decorated those rooms. What does 5-year-old you want in your bedroom? The colors, the toys, the associations, what comes up? How does that differ and change from the 10-year-old version of you? And then the 16, 17, or 18-year-old version of you. This is a fun one because you can revisit it and continuously add rooms. My second art journal prompt for you would be to use your fingers and some acrylic paint to create as many fictional, imaginative flowers as you can and put them all on one sheet of paper. Try to use up all of the space and create as many flowers that have never existed before as humanly possible. Using watercolor paint, fill an entire page with no blank spaces left of all of the different colors. Play around with layers, saturation, blending, and really fill this paper up with lots of different dynamic visual color usage. Allow it to dry, and then take a black-tipped pen or marker or a felt. Go back in and find as many animals as you can in the colors and the patterns and the swirls and outline them. This is a really fun activity to do and really can engage that subconscious mind with pattern recognition and shape finding and finding creative little creatures. Some of them are going to be real, but there might be a few fictional monsters in the mix that are fun to outline and design. For this next prompt, all you're going to need is a pen. Whatever color you want, whatever style, whether it's a felt pen or just a ballpoint pen, any pen works, and a piece of paper. Pick a specific age, so 8 years old, 7 years old, 6 years old, whatever age you want to, but pick a specific age and start writing out as many descriptive words of yourself at that age as possible. When you're writing your words out, try to use different styles of writing. Let's do handwriting, cursive, bubble letters, upside down, horizontal, vertical. All you're trying to do is artistically fill the page with a bunch of different descriptive words for you at a specific age. These can be positive words, negative words, neutral words. There's no other rules, just notice the words that come up for you describing your own self at a specific age. Once the page is full, go back in and start coloring in the circles in the O's or the A's and the E's, creating different thicknesses of different lines, and start really trying to create some artistic appeal to the language. This is a really fun one because you get to see clearly your associations with yourself, whether they are good or bad, and you have an opportunity to sit and contemplate while you're coloring in and exaggerating artistic flow and design on the paper. Cut a heart out of construction paper and find as many magazines or books, or even print some images off of the internet of all of your favorite toys from when you were a child. Cut those out and Mod Podge, collage, and compile them onto the heart-shaped piece of construction paper. I find when you do this, you can see hobbies and passions and interests that have carried you through your entire life. What were the things you were interested in then? Did you always have stuffed animals, or were you playing with Tonka trucks and big motorbikes or RC cars? What kind of Lego structures did you create? Try to think back about things that really lit you up as a child and brought you joy. Did you always make art? Were you playing with chalk outside? Was it always weird stick figurines or coloring crayons? Think about those images, find them if you can, and collage them onto this heart. It's a really great way to then keep all of those passions and interests alive, and it really nourishes that inner child, allowing them to feel seen, understood, and appreciated. Using whatever mediums you wish, maybe a combination of a few, draw your dream playground. And I mean go big or go home. Are there slides, multiple slides, spinny slides, swings, monkey bars, climbing walls? Where is this playground? Is it surrounded by trees? Is there water nearby? Is the sun shining? Is it a rainy day? Who is at this playground with you? Think back into your childhood and choose a situation or a scenario that had a lot of really intense feelings. Again, these can be lighthearted, happy feelings, or they can be some harder, more sticky emotions. If there is a lot of people involved, or there is a lot of different emotions, do your best to identify as many as you can, and then draw them out with wax crayons as their own little monsters. They can be cute monsters, scary monsters. Do the monsters change shape and colors? Do they have horns and teeth or wings? Or are they fluffy and cute? Depending on the emotion, do your best to create a monster that embodies the way that that emotion feels for you or felt for you as a child. Once you've created all of these monsters, take some watercolor paint and go back over top of your wax crayons. The water won't stick where the wax crayon is, and it adds a really interesting effect with background colors, layers, and all of the different textures that emerge. It's also a really good analogy for the effect that our emotions have on our environment and the people around us. Using black or brown, draw a volcano. This is what we're going to refer to as our anger volcano. Once you have your volcano drawn, think of a specific situation where you blew up, whether you were a kid or maybe it's more recent, but think about a situation where your anger volcano exploded and you maybe said things you didn't mean or went on a mental spiral. Once you've chosen a situation where you exploded, use the warm colors like red and orange and yellows and anything in between to begin to draw out or write down the small little triggers or contributing factors that led up to that moment of your explosion. There can be a lot of shame and guilt around those moments when we explode in anger, and this practice can really help us see these small contributing factors or triggers or little nudges that moved us closer to being out of control of our emotional responses. Like I said, try not to judge yourself for those moments that your volcano explodes, but this is a very good visual representation and tool to use to help see what kind of sets you off and what you can do in the future to potentially mitigate or help manage in those moments. Using only natural material that you find outside, so sticks, leaves, dirt, branches, flowers, you name it, whatever you can find outside, use those materials to create your childhood pet. This can be a 3D construct, and you can pile together rocks and paint on mud to add features or details, or this could be 2D on a piece of paper with leaves and flowers and different designs in that regard. If you didn't have a childhood pet, try and create your favorite animal from when you were a kid. Maybe it's a cheetah or a gorilla or a monkey. Think back to a time when you were in school and got assigned an art project. There can be a lot of criticism and judgment and limiting beliefs instilled in us throughout school, especially when we're getting graded on art and we have a course to pass, and however that might look for you. Recreate one of those art projects now. Give yourself full permission to break the rules, change the parameters, and shift up the dynamics, whatever it takes for you to feel good and fulfilled in creating that art project. This can really allow your inner child to feel like they have taken some control back. They might have failed one of their art classes because they painted a water dragon and the teacher wanted them to use warm colors, because they knew that water dragons wouldn't be in warm colors, they would be in cool colors, and they might have gotten a really bad grade on that whole assignment because they refused to do those colors, and maybe they need to paint a water dragon now using blue tones in order to know that they're allowed to make their own rules when they're doing art. Hypothetically, I mean, I have no personal experience with any of that. It's not a big deal. Think back about someone in your childhood that you loved. This doesn't have to be a family member, but it could be your mom or your grandma, it could be a caregiver, a teacher, a friend that you met, someone else's parent, but someone that you had a lot of reverence and respect for. Draw them a bouquet of flowers. This can be in a vase, you could be holding it, it could just be the flowers on a piece of paper. Doesn't matter what materials you use, what colors you're using, just draw them a bouquet of flowers. In each petal of each flower, fill in something you love about them. This could be a descriptive word. It could just be a feeling they made you feel. Fill up the petals with all of the reasons why this person is such a positive and bright light in your childhood memories. Once you've completed and drawn your whole beautiful bouquet of flowers, go through and look at how many of those traits, how many of those feelings or personality strengths and character aspects do you embody? What can you find in that bouquet that you can find within yourself? These creative art journal prompts can be great permission slips to allow yourself to turn messy feelings into messy art. This is not about being good and creative and drawing beautiful flowers and realistic playgrounds. This is about visualization, a practice of expressing things, getting it out of your body, out of your mind, and onto the paper. This gives you a great way to remove yourself a bit from some of those stickier emotions and view them more objectively now with your adult perception. And it also just allows that inner child in you a safe space to express their thoughts, their feelings, their artistic skills, and frolic in some of that juicy chaos that a lot of our inner children love. As always, beautiful people, I will see you all back here very shortly for another video. May the force be with you. Bye-bye for now.